On screen, you're seeing, that's Karnika Kohli of Scroll.in. Our partners, Smriti Mundhra is executive producer of Indian Matchmaking, and by the way, Oscar-nominated director of St. Louis Superman. One of the things I'm hoping for you is that many more people go watch that show and that documentary, which got nominated for an Oscar. Where can people find it, Smriti?
Well, it's available on, it's being broadcast on MTV. It's also available on the MTV website. Or you can just message me. I'll send you a link to watch it.
Very nice. And Vyasar Ganesan, willing participant, still, we didn't say anything, at Not Vyasar G. And let's bring on MR Rangaswami, who is a good friend and has been watching very patiently. Hi, MR.
Hey, awesome show, Shri. I'm glad I stuck around for the end, but I thought we should leave tonight on a very positive note. So that's the surprise I have. Love what Vyasar's character is. In real life, he's the same guy. That's good to know. It wasn't made up, Vyasar. So I want to really commend you on being totally authentic. And Smriti, I love how you looked at the whole show very in a very nice way and not playing to the audience or anything like that. You showed it like it was. So, and it's a great show so far. So I don't know, Shri, are you ready to bring in a couple of people to?
Well, one thing we should do is not raise the expectations too high, because people may think we're going to get Vyasar married right now or something.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I am not dressed for this wedding.
Okay, but let's bring on a couple. So one thing, let me set the stage. At Indiaspora, we also, it's a membership group. Again, it's indiaspora.org, indiaspora.org. We do have a fellows program where we get people under 30 to be part of the community, because we don't want everybody to be old like you and I, Shri. So we do have a cutoff for people under 30 and they become fellows. So what we have now are two fellows from Indiaspora I want to introduce to you and just quickly talk to them for a couple of minutes. And there you see Varun Sivaram and Lakshmi Sarathi. Say hi, guys. We happen to choose Varun as a Indiaspora fellow several years ago. He's gone on to do amazing things. I think you'll see him in the future when you talk about renewable energy and sustainability. He is a PhD from Oxford, doing incredible work in India and has come back. Lakshmi also is an incredible woman. She runs a very great nonprofit around media and media work. So they too, hey guys, welcome.
Hi, we're glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Actually left DC to go on a weekend off in the countryside somewhere. And so thank you for kind of staying up this late.
And first of all, hi, Varun and Lakshmi. I made sure I swapped your name so that people wouldn't be confused who are watching who's Varun and Lakshmi.
Oh, okay.
And great to be here. And I guess so what you're saying, MR, is that these folks are a couple met at Indiaspora. Right?
Before that, how did you guys meet? Just tell us quickly, how did you meet? And we'll go from there.
I'll let him tell that one.
Well, Indiaspora is a big part of the story. But first, where we met in Washington, D.C. at the John F. Kennedy Center at the ballet. I got to say, it's probably the only ballet I've ever been to, but I'm so glad I went because I met this beautiful woman, Lakshmi. I switched seats with the guy next to her at intermission. I offered her Skittles, which was a really bad move. And then after the show, we really hit it off. We found out that we were interested in totally different things, totally different people, but we had some weird things in common. For example, our families were from very similar places in South India, believe it or not. And that's where it all started.
It was definitely the conversation, not that word.
And you didn't use Seema Auntie or someone like that to meet up at the show, did you?
We didn't have a Seema Auntie, but we did have friends that were, we had a mutual friends group that were kind of meeting at the Kennedy Center, and somehow he managed to maneuver his way into the seat next to me and brought out those Skittles, and the rest was history.
And how did Indiaspora play a role in all this stuff?
Yeah, well, actually, when we met at the ballet, we both led such busy careers and lives, and we're traveling so much. We never really got a chance to really get the relationship off the ground. We were just kind of hanging out where it's possible, and it was this incredible opportunity to go on the Indiaspora Mission 2022 trip as fellows to Delhi. We'd both been to India so many times, but we were rediscovering it through this completely different lens. It was, meetings at the U.S. Embassy in India, going across Delhi, looking at different policy issues in India, something that we were kind of discovering together in like a really weird, nerdy way.
But we did some fun stuff too, the dosas in the morning, and then the cocktail party at Ambassador Varma at the embassy, and then MR, you don't know this, but we left the policy session in the middle of the day and had a lunch date at the Lodi Garden. So thanks to Indiaspora, that relationship really blossomed.
We had some time.
And are you guys married? Are you single? What's going on?
I don't know. Are you single?
Definitely not. Not going to say that.
No, so we had Varun proposed in February of 2019, and we were getting ready for our wedding when COVID hit. So we decided to, like so many other couples out there right now that are going through this, but and we all know how much goes into planning an Indian wedding. It is not a small affair. So we had plans to get married in Tuscany this year, but we had to postpone that, and we decided, we're together, we're happy, let's just get our civil ceremony done, and so we got married. So celebrations to come.
Awesome. Now we're celebrating with thousands of people watching right now. Varun and Lakshmi, have you seen the show? Have you seen Smriti and Vyasar's show yet?
Oh, we are big fans. You guys are awesome.
We're really looking forward to talking about it with our friends now.
Yeah, so now what I want to do is to have the two of you give Yasser some advice.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh. Gentleman to gentleman.
Look, gentleman to gentleman, let me tell you, before I met Lakshmi, I thought I kind of knew what I wanted. I didn't have a clue. I actually discovered what I wanted once I met her. And I urge you, you may very well do the same. In my case, after I met Lakshmi, I found out that what I really value in my partner is conviction. In our generation, millennials bounce around between passions all the time, but Lakshmi, her whole life, from high school when she founded a newspaper to her work now at Global Press, she's always had this one passion, conviction, mission to make sure that she was representing communities that didn't have great representation in the media. And she wanted to represent them with dignity and precision. I didn't know that's what I wanted, but of the million and one things I love about her, that's a big reason I fell in love with her. So, Yasser, that's my advice, gentleman to gentleman.
Thanks, man. That's awesome. Now you guys.
Is that helpful?
No, that is conviction is an important thing. It's nice to be reminded of that.
Well, I would say that conviction is actually, I appreciate so much that he loves conviction within me, because I think that it's really hard to find, men that are so interested in women that are independent, passionate, have conviction, that are driven, and are happy to celebrate and support that. And for me, that was such a big selling point with Varun, just the way he celebrates, my passion, and can articulate the dignity and precision I think is so important in media coverage.
So Shri, I want to say one thing.
Once again, MR, before we go, Akarnika hasn't slept all night. It's 8:30 in the morning. We're going to let her go so she can get to bed or write her story or whatever she's going to do. She's awesome. Partner of ours at this show. She runs part of the digital and social teams at scroll.in. Everyone, please check them out. And Karnika, make a pitch for Scroll so that everyone understands the great journalism that you folks do, not just Indian matchmaking shows, but everything that you cover.
We're a small newsroom, but we're doing some of the most effective journalism right now in the country. We have some really, really talented reporters out there, and we focus a lot more on ground reporting and actually sending our people out and not just sitting behind the desks. So yeah, please do check us out on scroll.in, and we run partially on reader subscription. So please sign up for Scroll Plus if you like what we do, and please continue supporting us.
Thank you, and we'll see you, Karnika. What is your Twitter handle?
@Karnika Kohli.
Okay, Karnika Kohli, Kohli. You can see that. So please connect with her, everybody. Okay, we're got a few more minutes with our guests. I hope they'll stay. Vyasar apparently has time with us, so thank you, Vyasar.
Yeah.
Smriti had to leave, folks. She had another live thing. She was asking me to bring her on to say goodbye, but I was so caught up in this not matchmaking, but setting up process. We were giving advice to Yasser that I missed that, so I apologize to Smriti. Everyone, check her out on Twitter. Check her out on Instagram. Smriti Mundhra, Oscar-nominated director of St. Louis Superman, and of course, one of the executive producers of the show we're talking about, Indian filmmaking. Before we bring MR back to just ask a question and to widen this all up, we want to remind people of our show tomorrow because it's such a cool show, an important show. I want everybody to join us at 9 p.m. Eastern. Meet Simon Tam. He's author, musician, speaker, troublemaker, relentless fighter for justice, world record 13 TEDx talks, and founder of The Slants, who won their case against the U.S. Patent Office at the Supreme Court in Mattal versus Tam. Imagine having a Supreme Court case named after you and winning it in the highest court in the land. He's an amazing guy. I brought him on once to teach me how to do public speaking. He's that good, and he's got 13 TEDx talks that he has done. He's fantastic. You will love meeting him. 9 p.m. Eastern on all our social channels and the channel you're watching right now. Please tune in tomorrow, 9 p.m. MR, let's carry on for a few more minutes.
Absolutely. So really what I wanted to say was it's great, Shri, to have this partnership with you and do the show once a month. And it's a great start to our partnership with having Vyasar and Smriti on the show, and also for us to introduce Varun and Lakshmi, because we do have, I think, Vyasar, like I said, a fellows program. You're eligible to write me, and maybe you'll qualify for a fellows spot next time. And who knows, maybe there'll be another marriage made in India.
Anything is possible.
So, love to have you in our network. But I said, part of the Indiaspora network, again, is to really bring people together from India, people of Indian origin, and we have no basis for race or creed or any of that stuff. So it's all fair game, and we love young people like you, Vyasar. And you can see our role models here with Varun and Lakshmi. So we have many, many more people like that. And in fact, we welcome you to join next time, and we'll be in touch with you. So, Shri, that's all I had. If there's anything else.
Go through the comments, a couple of comments. Thank you, MR. We're delighted to partner with you. LinkedIn isn't a dating site, but shout out to all the women who get requests from random Desi men from all over the world. Luckily, talk about some of the experiences that you've had where men tried to slide into your LinkedIn DMs.
I do not want to know about this.
I will spare Varun from hearing about people sliding into DMs. I think it's all about Instagram these days, though, right? I don't know about LinkedIn.
Instagram.
We should also get a chance. Part of why we love having the show is we have our own platform now, and we're able to speak and share. We want to talk about your nonprofit that you work at, Lakshmi. We heard it, the passion with which you follow it up. So also give us your name, your full name, so people can find you to talk about work, of course, since you are taken and not single anymore. But talk about your nonprofit. Let's give the nonprofit a shout out.
Sure, yeah. So Global Press is an international news organization that trains and employs local female reporters in undercovered media markets. So Mongolia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Zimbabwe. So it's really a unique model to be able to share unique access to communities around the world that don't often get covered in mainstream news stories. These reporters are incredible, and they work for Global Press Journal. GlobalPressJournal.com is where you can read our news coverage, and it is phenomenal and full of dignity and precision.
So globalpressjournal.com. So we're going to take a look at that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Global Press. Yeah. GlobalPressJournal.com.
But that was also correct. The other site you showed us, globalpress.co, is like the parent company site. Is that right? And one is the news site.
Globalpress.co. Globalpress.co tells you a little bit more about the whole organization, because we run Global Press Institute, which is our training arm of the organization, where all of the reporters that come to Global Press Journal have to go through an intensive 4-month training program where they learn everything from, the basics of photojournalism, fact checking. They're learning interviewing techniques. But regardless of whether they've had previous journalism experience or not, they have to go through this training. And I think one of the misconceptions is often, it must be, young, up and coming reporters, but our reporters range from 20 to 65 plus, and they are really telling incredible nuanced stories from around the world.
Congratulations on that very important role. And folks, support global press if you can. Neha Patel says, we heart you, Vyasar. And Christine says, it is definitely the type of show I'd want to watch with a friend. You need a pillow talk version like 90 Day Fiancé. So I believe that's some kind of reality show, I guess. Alicia says, Vyasar, ATX, and apparently the rest of the world love you. Get
One
it.
of my coworkers. Hi, Alicia.
And next season, Haryana matchmaking. Love from Rohtak, Haryana, says Robin Dul. So hello. Shubham says, Vyasar, you are cool, man. And Mark says, I would love to have any of you as guests on his podcast. So all of you connect with Mark. He's Bluesman62 on Twitter. So please find him, Bluesman62. He has a great podcast. And Christine says, check out St. Louis Superman now. And even Mark says, I've got to see it. Priya says, great job all. And Nidhi says, hi, Lakshmi. And lots more comments. We're not going through all of them. Greetings, you guys are extremely hilarious in the movie, says Meticular. And then Christine said, found the cast authentic, great job. Ashley says, Vyasar, hey. And Susan says, yes, I agree. I found all the participants keep it real, which is a pleasant surprise considering there's what's normally seen on TV. Tasneem says, say it, sis. Varun and Lakshmi, love you too, says Sejal Hati. Do you know Sejal?
It's Sejal. Hey, you guys got to check out Sejal's brand new podcast, Civic RX. It's fantastic.
What is it called?
It's called Civic RX.
Civic RX.
And she interviewed Dr. Fauci on the podcast.
Oh, no way.
So Sejal, come on our show and talk about your podcast. We'd love to have you. Email me, sri@sri.net. Rod says, we love scroll.in. And he's watching from Pune, where it's now a little later in the morning since we're going for so long. MR came on like 4 hours ago when we started. Kusum says, hi, ma'am, you are great. And Milan says, enjoyed the awesome discussion. Thank you. Christine says, and Vyasar, I love the fact that you filmed so much at your school. Scene with students was fantastic. Working with kids, so important. Kudos. Tasneem says, I'm getting tired, folks. I got a request from a white guy, not a desi guy on LinkedIn. And Milan says, best wishes to Varun and Lakshmi. And congrats to Varun and Lakshmi. Global Press does amazing work, says Indiaspora Forum. Connect on Facebook, please. Mark says, is it exclusively for the Indian community, or do you ever get date requests from members of the non-Indian community, Vyasar?
All over. I got a date request from Copenhagen, which is going to be particularly hard to fly to this time of year. But, we'll make it work, I guess.
Great discussion. Good luck, Yasser.
Thanks for moving.
And Vyasar and Indiaspora is linking to them, to your show. Tasneem said, just wanted to add that because I think people just assume Desi guys are the only creepy guys reaching out to Desi women. So I have a serious question on behalf of my single friends for Lakshmi. What are your suggestions for men who don't want to be creepy and want to reach out to single women in this digital age, in Corona age, where you can't go to bars, or I wouldn't want to meet anyone at a bar who's not wearing a mask, things like that. So what is your advice on that line between creepiness and open overture? How do you handle that? Vyasar, is that a good question? Is that helpful to you in any way?
I mean, I don't think of myself as creepy, but Lakshmi should speak. I want Lakshmi to speak on this one for sure.
It's tough with COVID-19 right now, but I think it's a basic thing that women know when someone is genuinely interested in what you're talking about, in what you're working on, in what you're doing, and regardless of what your passion or interest is. And I think not being creepy is not knowing every detail about that person's passion or interest before they've shared it with you. But taking interest, showing your curiosity about the person, and being a good listener. And so I don't think it has to be creepy necessarily for someone to congratulate you on, you know, an article that you've written or something that you've done, and you know, that's nice that they're reading it. As long as they understand the substance of what you're working on or thinking about, I would find that nice.
Yasser's while writing it all down, he's taking notes. So he's
Hey, Vyasar, you're getting free advice here. You didn't have to pay $5,000 for this.
Yeah.
Christine is very kind. She says she has some friends who are also watching the show about the end this episode and who studied with me in the early 2000s. She had high praise for me as a professor. Thank you so much. Those are my big shout out to my former students, 25 years of teaching, 20 years at Columbia Journalism School and many other places, and at Stony Brook School of Journalism where I am now. Christine says, Civic RX, Dr. Fauci. Wow. Vinita says, hey, MR, good job. Christine says, thanks for the podcast, etc. So let's give everybody a chance to give us a final thought, and let's wrap up and let's go home, folks. So let's start with MR. Oh, no, we'll go to MR last. Let's go to Varun and Lakshmi first.
Well, look, all I got to say is MR is a master matchmaker, whether romantic or non-romantic. And if you guys haven't gotten involved in Indiaspora, you really should, because he brings people together. We're so happy to be here. And Shri, you're awesome. Vyasar, you're terrific. Thanks so much for having us.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome to hear that. And we wish you the very best, and good luck with everything. And I believe you're on some kind of getaway. So let's let you get away, and we'll say goodbye to you right now. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, Vyasar, you're next.
Again, for anyone who doesn't know what the name of the show is, it's Indian Matchmaking. Please go to Netflix and watch it. It's really, really good. I normally don't watch shows like this, but I really enjoyed it. If you want to learn more about me and follow what I'm up to, I'm on Twitter @NotVyasarG. That's a great. Adding me on Facebook's a losing proposition. Probably not going to friend you if I don't know you. So stick to Twitter. It's easier. It's much, much easier. If you want to see some of my writing, I have a writing website. It's vyasarwrites.com. Again, it's VYASARWRITES.com.
And just so we understand, you're a writer. You're not just looking to meet someone. You're also working and stuff. So how can people support you? Those that don't want to slide into your DMs.
So the way you want to support me is you support my friends. The website I write for, myentertainmentworld.ca. It's a Canadian entertainment website that desperately needs patrons. It has a Patreon. You can support them. And support
say it one more time. So it's
myentertainmentworld.ca. They are one of the first websites that started paying me to write for them. I've posted a lot of reviews for them on Game of Thrones, the new Spider-Man movie that came out. So they're an incredible website. They're run by some very dear friends, and they've really supported me these last couple of years in my writing and in my work. So they're a great place to throw your support.
Well, I would love to invite you back to talk entertainment, maybe at the fall entertainment season or something, and we'll talk something other than Indian matchmaking, if that's okay. We'd love to have you back, Yasser.
Sure.
You should tell you that I've had 250 guests on the show, but kids have only come down to take selfies with a handful of them, and you're one of them. So they're big fans. To connect with 17-year-olds is not easy.
I mean, I do it for a living, but I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Vyasar. Good night and good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, MR. So what an evening.
Oh, what a fabulous evening. What a way to start. I said this is the beginning of a beautiful collaboration, Shri. You and Indiaspora, you've been a longtime friend, but now we're cementing this marriage as well between your show and us. And all I want to say is go to our website, indiaspora.org. We have a newsletter. You can subscribe to that. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and Twitter. Please do that. And finally, I want to say, I guess, leave the show by saying marriages are made in Indiaspora.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. Check out Indiaspora. We're looking. So this, the idea of the partnership is that once a month, the Indiaspora team is going to select 2 or 3 of their members, and we're going to do another show like this, something like that's the general idea, because you have so many fabulous members. Obviously, many of them are at the CEOs of some of the most famous companies in the world, but you also have up and comers. You have people doing lots of cool stuff, including some of the people who are just in the comments earlier today. So we'd love to come up with a way of. I think it's going to be hard to keep it to once a month because there's going to be so much interest. So, but we'll make it work. Thank you so much, MR. And
Thank you.
And I tell everybody that I want to be you when I grow up. So.
And I tell everyone I want to be you, Shri. So.
Thanks for we'll if you haven't seen it, MR was on the show on our Sunday Positivity show, and he inspired so many of us by talking about his work. He's a very successful venture capitalist in Silicon Valley who with the success he had has then dedicated his life and work to raising his family with his wonderful wife and raising these two nonprofits that he is dedicated to, including Indiaspora. And it's been an honor and pleasure to get to know you and to work with you all these years. So thank you very much, Emma. Good night.
Thanks, Shri. Good night.